What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of This Week in Wrestling by the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast. If you're new here, please go and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. Like and subscribe down below. It's the 13th of December. We're nearly at year's end. I think we're getting onto the time where we've got to do our best ofs of the year.
Shit. I got to jog my memory of the year. Half of it was spent out.
I know. I've actually did make a little bit of a list, but yeah, I forgot so much stuff which actually happened in wrestling this year. But this week's been, I don't know, underwhelming, a mixed bag.
Well, some things that should be huge, I can't say exactly where. Some of the things to do with Kenny. Let's be honest, he went on 2 shows. I still have no idea really what are going on because Kenny just did his arrogant cleaner gimmick, and the other one decided that he gave up being a successful businessman to stalk and be an invisible hand to Kenny Omega, a young Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
that's all I got from all of it.
I like Don Callis. I thought Don Callis plays the sleazeball really well, but
he plays quite well. But this is all I really took from this information, from these 2 things that he showed up on.
Yeah, they haven't really gone into much depth, but it does kind of make sense, seeing as Don Callis was in Japan, and and he has been sort of basically in every wrestling company by the sounds of it at this point. And he tweeted out a picture not that long ago, well, actually several months ago, of a hand pulling the strings. So they've clearly been trying to tease something for a long time. But because I don't really watch Impact or follow Don Callis, I, like a lot of people, didn't know that they were hinting at anything. But there we go.
Yeah, but at the moment with Impact as well, it's a bit pointless when they talk about, maybe I could win some of the championships over here or somewhere else. Pretty sure he's still a fucking Mexican champion, if I'm honest, in AAA.
I think he defended that this week, and I actually don't know the results. He defended his title, so I don't know if he
But they never mentioned about that one. That's the thing. And but it was just that. It's just a bit underwhelming for what you guys were trying to big this all up to be.
Yeah, but it is the first show. It is, so
no offense. You go to another rival show, I'm expecting things to be a bit big.
The problem is Impact records.
But the other thing that's killed me with it as well is also knowing the fact that this is that moment that you got him going to other shows talking that I could win other belts, even though this is that moment in time you're not allowed to wrestle. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is, it's like they record Impact weeks in advance, so it was a weird thing for them to do to have him go over there when the show was already recorded, so they just had to film it in a hotel room and put shit together, rather than having him in whatever they call it now, the Impact Zone or whatever the hell they now actually call it. But rather than actually be in the ring, it is a bit weird. But I don't know. I think they're going to fly him into their next tapings. I'm going to assume they're going to fly him in, or to the pay-per-view. I think they've got a pay-per-view coming up, I think.
So,
but I assume he's going to be wrestling. By the sounds of it, the rumor mill is that he will be wrestling on Impact, and he will probably have a match on, if not this pay-per-view coming of theirs, then the next pay-per-view. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he walks away with their title. They keep referring to him as the Thanos of wrestling. That's what they seem to be going for.
You want to know something else about all of this? If they don't turn down Tony Khan into a TV character, I'm going to be pissed. Mainly because the amount of times in both speech they bring up his fucking name. Yeah. If you're not bleeding to bring him into a TV character, just don't bring his freaking name into it as much.
And he was on TV he was on Impact this week, Tony Khan, with Tony Schiavone, which was just one of the funniest things I've ever actually seen. When they were talking about Impact, and Tony Khan turns to Schiavone and goes, "You were in Impact once, weren't you?" He went, "Yeah, I made one appearance and I left the wrestling business for 18 years." It's absolutely genius. But yeah, you're right. I think at this point they've got to kind of position Tony Khan into this, even though I know he doesn't. I know really he's always said that he doesn't want to be, but they should try and persuade him into it.
You just booked yourself into it, so
yeah. Everyone mentions him so much, and I think it's a bit of brown nosing going on, by mentioning him a little bit, because they don't do scripts. I can't imagine that they're scripting him to.
And let's be honest, AEW, unfortunately for the show wise now, where things is leading to chaos, sort of needs that person to be in charge. And if they don't want to just put someone in a role and say we've hired this person to be in this role, because no offense, the shows are written and it's a storytelling business, so you tell the fucking story that way. You don't have to turn around and go, Cody, well, everyone knows who's in charge. No shit, everyone knows who's in charge of Vince, but you can tell a fucking story. It's not hard to say, we hired this person to do this job.
Yeah.
So if not going to do that, put fucking Khan on TV.
Yeah, well, I think WWE managed it quite well with Adam Pearce. I know he's like whatever, when we haven't really had an explanation, but I think that is actually quite a decent way of managing it, in the sense of, we know he's not really in charge of shit, but it's
Adam Pearce pissed me off when it comes to the Survivor Series booking. I'm going to book both shows. No, you're not. Fuck off. How can you book both teams, dickhead?
It'll be like him running the draft for both sides.
He will.
But
technically that was Stephanie. So
whilst talking about management and all that, we had, obviously, there was news about Vince sending people back down to the performance center to refine their craft and learn the basics. That was how it kept on being said, was relearn the basics. And
does that mean Vince has got to go back down to NXT to learn the basics of wrestling
again? yeah.
He should learn the basics again.
Fucking no shit. But I mean, there was lots of people in there, people like Dabba Kato and Dio Madden, guys who haven't really done much, and so you can get it. You can understand that. But then there was like Keith Lee was amongst those who
just won the NXT champion and you bought him up.
Yeah, exactly. Why bring him up if you don't think he's ready? And he's thought to be probably one of the better workers that they have on their entire roster. It's so bizarre. And everyone was completely shocked by that. There was Otis and stuff on there, and there was word going around that they were concerned about him being a bit dangerous in the ring at certain points in the last few weeks, so they sent him back down for that reason.
Like Nia Jax is okay then, yeah.
That was my next point. That was literally the person whose name I was going to raise. Is like, we see Nia Jax break people's faces in the ring, and yet apparently she's just somehow fucking untouchable, which I have no idea.
She's related to The Rock.
Yeah, I can't wait for Simone Johnson to actually move her way up, and then we can just be done with Nia. We can have an actual prodigy of The Rock there rather than bloody Nia.
What, for WWE to ruin? Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. God damn it. But I don't know. There's not been much news this week actually. It's been for quite a big week in especially for AEW NXT, for a big week in that there's not been much going on, which is weird. But just look, Kenny Omega did retain his AAA Mega Championship at Triple Mania,
but they don't bring up that he's that champion either.
No, and Kenny Omega, the thing is, and that's what I understand, they talk about it on Twitter all the time. Like the AEW mentioned it on Twitter that he was defending it, and like, why wouldn't you just sort of throw it in there?
Let's be honest, he's shown up on the shows with that belt when he was tag team champion.
Yeah. They should literally. I wouldn't mind him going around picking up all the indie belts and just coming just completely covered in belts.
At the end of the day, if you're trying to now tell a story that he has multiple belts, well then show that he's got 2 belts right now.
Yeah, so that he's actually got the damn belts. Yeah,
that he's just gone over. He's been to Mexico. He's had this belt for way over a year now.
Yeah, God, yeah, it must have been, but yeah. But anyway, Raw. What do you make of Raw? Oh, actually, no. War Games came first, didn't it? We had War Games this week. What did you make of
War Games? It was interesting. The actual War Game matches were insane.
Yes,
loved them. Poor Candice putting the chair in the wrong place. I like the way how they told the story on NXT about that bit where she sacrificed herself, but didn't quite come along that way when it comes to the actual match.
Yeah. When you see her just misposition the chair on herself and turn her.
Not even that. She was just trying to get the fucking chair reassembled when she got landed on. But it's even the bit where they try and tell the story on NXT and Shen showed a replay and you're like, it still doesn't look like the way you're telling us.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. One match that confused the hell out of me, though, which was a strap match. I always thought with a strap match, you had to touch 4 corners.
So, no, not necessarily. But yeah, WWE were doing that for a while, weren't they? Like with JBL and Cena and all that. They were doing that.
They've normally always done a fucking strap match.
Yeah, but that's a WWE thing. Like, not a strap match.
Part of the WWE universe.
Yeah, but they didn't. Even WWE didn't always used to do it like that. They used to just have their strap matches same way as like their collar matches. They used to do the same thing. But
collar matches are stupid.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought the same. But they seem to just abandon that concept completely. But
it's not a bad thing. But
I did enjoy the show. But I said to you the other day in that I think 2 War Games matches is a bit of an overkill, just because there's only so much you can do with them, and once you see the first one, like in this case the women's, when you get to the men's, it's hard to top it, just because they've got to then think of they should just do 2 a year, 2 different ones a year or whatever, or as I think you said, or just have 1 a year. They don't need to do men's and women's and everything.
No, it's not even that. They could have, as I said, they could have still maybe done 2, but I'd rather be able to watch it where you have a really good story going into it properly.
Yeah.
Than forcing they have to have this and you have to have that. Although I do like the way the men's have got an extra 10 minutes on their show than the women's did on theirs.
Yeah, funny that. But yeah, I mean, I did like them. I think they both were really good matches, but it's the same thing as like Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, where they just keep on putting more and more Hell in a Cell matches on the damn card to the point where by the time the final
I'm honest, if you're doing a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, I expect every match to be a Hell in a Cell.
Hence why they shouldn't be doing, match-based freaking pay-per-views, but that's a whole other issue.
At least with Impact, they have always had one pay-per-view, which is a cage match.
Lockdown.
Well, it used to be. I know they changed every once in a while. It changes. Some weren't held in it, but it used to be like every match was held in that cage.
Yeah. And I mean, I always mention Eric Bischoff, but I think Eric Bischoff is very good. His podcast is very good when talking about that sort of stuff. And he always said that he didn't like Impact doing Lockdown at the time, just because of that. In the fact of it seems like they don't work their way into the cage. The cage is a starting point, and then they figure out a story how to get there. Because of the pay-per-view. And I actually like Lockdown, but I think War Games is the same thing as Hell in a Cell and TLC and all these, where they're like, oh Christ, we need a TLC match, we need a Hell in a Cell, we need a War Games. Okay, right, we'll plan for that, and now let's try and figure out a story to get there, rather than the old, I was going to say back in the old days, where like you'd start off with a normal match, you'd move to like a no DQ or whatever, and then it ends up at Hell in a Cell. Whereas now it's like they just start a match at Hell in a Cell or start a match in War Games. But yeah, I thought the pay-per-view was all right. I think a lot of the matches in between were a bit, I don't know, unimportant. I think that might be the word for it.
I was a bit upset Leon Ruff lost, but there was a major return on that show, which my main boy Austin Theory came back. They made him
it was me.
They made him sound like a dumbass on fucking NXT.
Yeah. I tell you what, the
I want to know who the other 6 fucking Mars people are, though.
The ripping off of the old Vince McMahon. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. With that, it was me, Austin. That made me laugh so much. I loved it. It was so smart. But yeah, the Mars people. It was like it clearly wasn't Austin Theory at the last pay-per-view. At Halloween Havoc.
No, but what was on that match? There was 6 of them. Yeah, actually 7, including him.
Yeah, I would be interested to see who, if they even do get unmasked. I'm going to probably assume that they're not, and that
it's going to be all the guys coming back off the main roster now, ain't it?
Yeah, we got Dio Madden and Keith Lee and all them in there. I thought it was a fine pay-per-view. I don't think it was their strongest by any means, though. Normally takeovers really like knock it out the park, but I don't think it was their strongest. They also announced, well, both AEW and NXT announced that they've got New Year's shows. NXT's is what's it called? New Year's Evil,
Yeah, I don't understand that.
which is weird. And AEW's is called New Year's Smash, I believe.
I don't understand what AEW are doing is when they have one that's held in February called like New Year's Revolution.
No, it's not called New Year's Revolution. It's just called Revolution.
Yeah, but they aim it to be like the New Year thing. That's why it always threw me. When they first did it, it threw me why it wasn't in January and why it's in February, because they were aiming at it being.
Yeah. I don't think they intended it to be a New Year's thing, but I think that's the way it came across. I think
that's sort of also though how they sort of ended up bringing it across. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't think that was supposed to be their aim, but yeah, I think
everyone was like, well, why is this not being held at some point in January? Then why is it in February?
Yeah, so now they've got New Year's Smash, and it's a 2-week thing again. You know, it's they got one on Wednesday, and then
Snoop Dogg showing up in the second week. Yep.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's turning up in the second week, just 2 weeks after signing a deal with WWE to bring out merchandise.
All his matches from Undertaker's has been pulled down, and they said it was only going to be up till the 6th anyway.
Yeah, bullshit. That's what I call bullshit. I love the idea that though
you're an investor. Go up, make the phone call, and find out what's going on.
I love this idea that they think Snoop Dogg gives a flying fuck about having heat with them.
Well, they're going to just take it out on Sash now, and I said, ain't they? She's related to Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's true. The thing is, Snoop Dogg was on he was a commentator on the Mike Tyson fight 2 weeks ago with Mauro Ranallo and stuff. Like, the man gets around. He's doing a lot. I don't know why suddenly he's in boxing and wrestling, but there we are.
You'll know. It don't surprise me that all of a sudden he's going to show up on AEW. He's hosting a fucking TV show with Cody.
With Cody, yeah, exactly. It's like the reason why Shaq was on there, because he's on the show which is immediately before Dynamite every week. It's like, there's a connection there. But I mean, and to be fair, let's be real, the Undertaker Snoop Dogg collaboration made 0 sense. 0. Oh shit, just punched my microphone. But
maybe they both like making weed.
It would have made much more sense if it was a Snoop Dogg Sasha Banks collaboration or whatever. But there we go.
What at the moment is Undertaker's technically last final year, even though he's still got a lot more on his contract.
He's got, I think, 17 more years.
Let's throw out whatever we can with Undertaker with other people now.
Well, just remember, right, the reason that he got a 20-year contract was literally because Conrad Thompson wanted to do a podcast with him called Dead Man Talking. Remember that. That's the only reason the man got signed to 20 years, because they were so terrified of a podcast. And now they've unraveled everything anyway.
Well, it wasn't only the podcast, it was the fact that it was coming over to the UK and doing a meet and greet.
Yeah, so he was going to do the meet and greet with Inside the Ropes here. And then he was going to do a podcast with Conrad Thompson. And you think, then they just did it. They did it all themselves. And you think, you bastards. It's so funny. Yeah, it was that was such a weird chain of events, weren't it? Oh, he was going to do Starcast, weren't it? He was announced for Starcast. I forgot. Yeah,
that was Starcast. But I think what did it think was him finally doing a meet and greet. It was like, what? No.
Yeah. And it wasn't even the meet and greet, was it? It was that he was going to do the Q&A as well. And they were like, absolutely not. Because he still came over here and done the meet and greet, but then Mick Foley came and done the Q&A. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, Monday Night Raw. There's not much to talk about, but there was some good bits on it.
Well, I definitely kind of do hope that Lana and that don't win the women's tag team titles.
Same.
Oscar hasn't done much with the women, so right now, since she's won it back off of Sasha, so right now for me, the Raw Women's Champion, which was at the beginning of the year, probably one of the biggest belts in WWE, is now meh. Yeah. So I definitely hope they lose. I hope Nia Jackson beat the crap out of Lana just at the pay-per-view. Not because I got to put issue with Lana, just because it'll be a good way to end that story.
It's weird that I'm going to quickly remove you and add you back in, just because your audio was out of sync. I think hang on. I think we're both out of sync. One sec. There we go. But I think they're going to do it though. I think they're going to give it to Lana, and so they've been building her quite a bit.
You know what? I'd be happy with Lana winning it if it wasn't with Oscar.
Yeah, we spoke about this, I think, last week or the week before, in that they can only seem to focus on one thing at a time. They can only focus on the women's title or the tag team titles. They just can't seem to be able to do both. I don't get it. But obviously, your favorite bit on Raw was Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. I love that, and Miz and Morrison.
Well, yeah, I like the match thing, and I love the way how the match ended, which then led to the epic thing backstage, which is just a typical British way thing. Friends could just kick the shit out of one another, and next thing you know, go out behind.
Yeah, and then they beat the shit out of that poor guy, and put it through a table.
Always the ginger one.
I really enjoy it. Drew McIntyre yeeting that briefcase and smashing the LED boards.
I did see a tweet actually of one of the lights, rest in peace. Like the Tuesday morning.
Oh yeah, I saw
from Drew.
Yeah.
Sorry, rest in peace.
Yeah, he said, "Rest in peace, rest in peace, Thunderdome lighting equipment." Yeah. That was really smart. There was a glaring absence on this show though this week, and it was a glaring absence of one Alexa Bliss, who's very good, been great actually over the past month or so, because she was off in movie land filming a TV show.
Oh really? What's she filming?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the show, but it's a reboot of an old like 60s, 70s show or something, or 70s show, whatever.
Not called that 70s show, is it?
No, it's not called that. Yeah, she's starring in like a reboot or something. So she was off there because I was thinking, why is she not around? She's been doing a great job with Bray.
Because Bray was protecting her.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not the other ones that I've heard rumors of that people are putting out on YouTube at the moment that they're going to have how to get Becky Lynch back. Becky Lynch brings her baby in and she steals it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No way. I'm sorry. Like, if they do that.
When you get the ideas of a Vince McMahon when his daughter gets pregnant saying, well, I can be the father, anything's possible with that bloke.
I'm going to assume that WWE, as a public traded company who don't like pushing the boundaries at all now, aren't going to do a baby kidnap angle anymore. But and I would like, neither would I. And I would also
I'd love to see Seth, and then I'd love to be in the room just for them to try and tell Seth and Becky that story, and then be like, "What?"
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I'm going to hope.
God, I can't wait for my contract to be over and go to AEW.
Yeah, I would hope that Seth and Becky are like, absolutely not. Like, no way, you are not going near my child. Yeah, that's
right. Riddle's going to steal the baby, really? What? No.
But yeah, that was. God damn it! That's thrown me completely. I can't believe that. I haven't even heard that rumor go around.
I literally just saw it on someone post it on YouTube.
Ludicrous.
And I literally had to click on it because and was like, I can't wait to see how you go with this and some of the other stuff they brought up on it. And I was like, yeah, all right. Love Jesus to see Christ. Them actually say this to Becky and Seth and watch them get papped in the face.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So I've got to admit though, move on from that. Do we think Retribution is officially done with now?
Yeah, that was what I was going to bring up. I mean, they don't ever seem to be doing anything with Ricochet, and now suddenly Ricochet is getting a win. So I think
I think he didn't win last week. He wasn't in the match. No, it was Dana who won last week.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that they don't care for Retribution anymore. If Ricochet's beating them, and I love Ricochet. That wasn't supposed to be a hit at Ricochet at all, but
sounded like it was though.
Yeah, it did sound like it was, but they don't normally let Ricochet win, so that's I think they're finally realizing that they fucked Retribution from the off.
Unless some other rumors they had a couple of weeks ago when they bring Braun back, they'll bring Braun back in with the group, which they could because Braun has potential to lead the group.
Yeah,
I'd be the one to throw him around and start moaning and actually have the group fear him a bit more and make him more of a fierce group.
I feel like a point
pointing at them, shouting in their face.
Yeah, I feel like the points come though where Retribution's just dead in the water. You know what I mean?
That was about 3 weeks into when they were doing it.
You
still have this group going on, but you got rid of Lucha Underground, which was fucking great.
Yeah, not Lucha Underground. That's a whole different thing.
Still, that's where we got the idea from. So in my eyes, it's Lucha Underground.
Do you know what, I had actually high hopes for the Retribution thing when they revealed Ali, and then it just went nowhere again.
I didn't, because he's got people in that group that fucking tower over him. If he tries to shout at him, they'll just go like that.
Yeah, it does look a bit stupid. I do hope they do just do away with it, and then we can get like people like Dominik Dijakovic and stuff actually in a match properly as himself. You know, build them guys who have a good look rather than putting them behind stupid masks and calling them stupid names. But there we are.
They're always going to be called that now, ain't they?
Yeah, pretty much. But so NXT and AEW, the Wednesday Night Wars.
I quite enjoyed NXT. We had a lot of returns on NXT.
So firstly, Finn made his return, and then Karrion Kross and Dillian Kane. Yeah. So they I said Dillian Kane, Killian Dane. I got my tongue in a twister.
I was going to wait to see if you noticed what you said then.
I just sort of processed in my head that I got a little bit of tongue twister.
Otherwise, I was just going to try and leave you as an idiot.
Thanks. So they're obviously moving towards New Year's Evil with Finn finally back from his busted jaw.
Pussy. Drew was wrestling with a fucking broken jaw.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I do like what they're. I do like what they're going with Pete Dunne though. I think that's really cool. I love all of that stuff. I saw that bit because I didn't watch
War Games is over, and whether that little clicker group is now over with or what.
I'm going to assume so, right? Like I'm going to assume that they're
what I truly really want right now is a Finn Balor to come in and take over the lead.
Yeah, I do know what I think. I really think Finn does need people. I don't know what it is. I really like Finn.
I don't even think that he needs people, but I think Finn's the perfect person. Now that you've got 3 English people, but you bring in, you've then got another person who's literally from the same thing.
Yeah,
he's Irish.
I hear people all the time talk about this. It's like, as great as Finn is and as over as he is, whenever they have him talk, it's really boring. It's really, really boring. Like, and it's not his fault. They give him really bad material, and I think he would benefit from having people with him, like having a club of some kind. But I don't know,
like the club he created in New Japan.
Yeah, like that little club.
That little club.
They're
it was a little
going
club
for
while he
something
was there, so then it expanded an awful lot when he left.
Yeah, a little bit. They're also going for something with the Gargano family expanding out, and
I quite enjoyed it till they made Austin Theory look stupid.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm just glad they're actually doing something with Austin Theory. To be honest, let's.
I'm just glad he's back.
Yeah, exactly. For once, I really thought Leon Ruff was just going to kind of like disappear after he lost. I thought they used him for that little.
I actually thought they were actually going to let Leo Rush keep the belt on that show.
Yeah. I thought that they would just done that little run with Leon Ruff and Gargano, and then they just sort of move on, and you wouldn't see him again. So I'm glad that he's sticking around.
Well, it's quite entertaining. But they can't let his other half referee his matches though, because that would just be biased and it would be cheating.
And your girl Toni Storm, obviously closing the show. Well, after a great match, I did watch this. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched the final match between Raquel Gonzalez and Ember Moon. I thought it was really good. But Toni Storm, they're obviously they're going to position Toni Storm for that women's championship.
I hope so. I was also getting nervous that they're going to redo what they already did on NXT UK between Storm and my leg. Oh God, Ripley.
Yeah.
I got nervous then. I was like, "Don't do that again, not yet."
Just move. Yeah, move, wait on that.
Not yet.
Yeah. Obviously, NXT this week was kind of decimated in the ratings, which is a shame. They are consistently doing quite good work.
I think they do great stories.
Yeah, I think they have an even bigger issue on that in that they do lots of they're the same as AEW. They're very match heavy. I think they both shows have that fundamental issue, which is way too match heavy.
I don't know. NXT is less on it. They do tell a lot of story.
But they are still just all very, very match heavy. I think they both are. It's like there's like a 70-30 split, match to everything else. But they got decimated. I mean, they got beaten by Impact in the demographic this week, which is just lunacy.
Wow. Impact gets one good rating for once, and everyone just fucking ends up for saying NXT shit. Fucking hell.
Well, no. Well, to be fair, it's fair to Impact. They've actually only ever been counted on the ratings twice, so we don't normally know their ratings because Access TV has only just joined Nielsen like last week. So we only just found out what actually they get, and it's last week was very bad, and then this week because obviously the bump from Kenny and AEW
because Tony can't come over here.
Yeah, because it would all from Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone, but. Yeah, they got that bump. The thing is, though, if they do have a consistent relationship with AEW, and it's the AEW audience that goes over to Impact to watch that stuff, and AEW's audience is the key demo, Impact may end up doing very well out of this. But
AEW won't do very well for their YouTube on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true. Who did I hear speaking about this? I think it was Jim Cornette, actually. And normally I don't think about listen to Jim Cornette. But Jim Cornette made quite a good point on this, where he was saying, what's the benefit for AEW right now? Impact is getting a huge benefit. Impact's getting no, it wasn't Jim Cornette. It was actually Jimmy Van. I just remembered on the Listen Your Boy podcast.
So you just brought up that name for no reason, just to irritate
me. Just to annoy you. He was saying right now there isn't any benefit to AEW, really. They're not getting any extra publicity from it or anything. But Impact, however, they're getting a hell of a lot of free publicity on a major network like TNT. And AEW's just sort of like, they've not got any talent from it, yet. They might get good brothers and stuff, but
this is the great business deal seems to go from Tony Khan when he's doing his deals.
Yeah, that was what Jimmy Van was saying. He was saying, like, basically, you've just given them a slot on national television in prime time on TNT. Like, who does that? It's so weird. Whilst they're on Access, which is a very, very, very tiny little television network in America, and they're getting bloody the NBA games before them now on AEW. It's bizarre, but there we are. The Dynamite. I liked Dynamite this week. I thought it was good. Other than I hated the fact that they started that damn show with the Bucks versus Hybrid 2. I hated that so much because it was like you had the Kenny Omega thing, you had the Sting thing, and then you started with a freaking 35-minute long match. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was so close to turning off and being like, you know what? I won't watch it live.
At least it was a terrible match.
It was a very good match. But the problem is it was like, we knew who was going to win that match. You know what I mean? There was no way at Hybrid 2 or TH2 were beating the damn Bucks. But no, it was a good match.
They could win in a screwy way. You never know.
yeah, true.
It's called good storytelling. I know AEW's not great at this great storytelling in these kind of ways, but
hey, they're very good at storytelling when they actually tell a story.
These great ways like this.
Oh right, yeah.
A great twist in a fucking match to then suddenly blow a story out of nowhere.
Yeah, I would say that was something which actually I heard Jim Cornette moan about, which I do agree with him on. Which was he said everything at the end.
Twice you brought up Bell End up.
Which is that everything at the end of AEW matches has to have heat. He said it's like it doesn't make any sense why everything has to have a beat down, everything has to have a run in, whatever. And people used to shit on Vince Russo and stuff for doing that kind of thing, and pretty much everyone in AEW shits on Vince Russo for doing that kind of thing. But yeah, that is true. Pretty much every match at the end, there's always a clean finish, pretty much, but then there's always a run in or a beat down or something after just about every single match. I think at the end of this, you had like the Acclaimed and SCU and all that come down.
Oh yeah, they did come down because thing. So there was a bit, but not came from it. That was the thing.
Yeah, and then we had a Darby Allin segment, which I really actually quite enjoyed. I thought that was funny. Them doing the Rorschach test with showing him images, and then you had Cody Rhodes. Cody came out.
I think Cody needs to hit Sting with a chair.
Yeah,
he got disrespected.
I said this last week. I said there is no way on planet Earth Cody Rhodes isn't getting his damn Sting match. There is no way.
You can't disrespect the Godfather of AEW like that. Smack him with a chair.
So yeah, Sting comes out, and a very joyous Sting. He gives Tony Schiavone a hug, which is bizarre, to go from creepy Sting to like, hey Tony, let's have a hug.
That's just Sting.
Yeah, I like.
You watch him enough in Input when he was in TNA.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about that, Sting gave an interview this week where he was talking about Joker Sting, which I know you loved.
I love that.
He was talking about Joker Sting, and he was like, "I know people didn't get it." He said, "But that was huge in the UK." He said, "I can't undervalue it enough."
It was around the same time as fucking Hugh Jackman Joker.
Exactly. Yeah, he was like, it never really resonated as much over here in the States. He said, but every time I went to the UK, he said it was over. He said they loved it in the UK, and I thought that was true because I remember you talking about it at the time quite a lot.
I just loved the way how they sort of did it and stuff. It was fucking great.
Yeah, and so here we had him point out Darby Allin sitting up in the rafters like Sting used to.
I don't know if he pointed out about Darby Allin, but he kept pointing out about maybe a TNT belt.
Yeah. He's taking that damn belt. He's taking that damn belt. He's going to be the face of TNT.
Darby Allin wins in his first defense. He's got to lose it to the old timer.
God damn it! Please, God damn it!
The best way they can do that match is it's Cody that costs Sting the match at the end, and that's how you get Cody and Sting kicking the shit out of one another.
Good idea. Yeah,
or I'm going to call the Godfather of AEW now is Cody.
That probably is the best way. Stop calling him the Godfather. God damn it!
We're calling the Godfather of AEW now. He wears anything like it.
He looks like such a knob.
Got his own whiskey.
Yeah, he looks like such a knob. He's like, I don't know what it is.
He's virtually the Godfather.
I'm excited though for the the Sting Cody thing and how it goes, because I think you're probably onto something there with that. With the idea that,
at the end of the day, it just turns out a lot of people could be quite hyped for this match, and it turns out dog shit.
Oh yeah. See, the thing is,
eventually, if we ever finally got the Undertaker and Sting match, so much hype behind this match that everyone's always wanted. It'll be nothing like how The Rock and Hogan's first ever match. It'll be The Rock and Hogan second. Dog shit.
Yeah. Then no way out match. It's yeah. That's the thing, and that's what Undertaker's said, really, hasn't he? That's what Undertaker's been saying in his interviews, was that it's probably the match that was best left in the imagination of the fans at this point. And the thing is, Cody can probably carry Sting to a good match because he is old. He's not been in the ring for ages. Had injuries.
I think the only thing that will hurt Sting at the moment is where he just hasn't properly been in the match or in ring. Otherwise, he wouldn't need to be carried even at 61.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't quite know after his neck injury how well he could move around properly, but
yeah, it's okay. And like, we don't know if he can actually properly bump. If he's going to be like older Hulk Hogan, where it's like everything has to be stood up,
where they had to punch each other, just punch one another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was fucking terrible. Worst match I've ever seen in my life. Which never should have happened.
No, it shouldn't have happened.
I'd rather have seen Eric Bischoff and fucking Sting in that match.
Yeah. I've heard Bischoff talk about the Hogan Sting thing and just sort of be like, look, this match should never have happened. Hogan needed the money. It's as simple as that. But there we are.
Dude could move his fucking back.
No, exactly. He was completely like, he was walking around on crutches at the time. He should not have been wrestling. Like, Jesus Christ. But we had a cool little sit down, which was a bit random, with Shaquille O'Neal and Brandy, where she covered him in water. But it was good. I liked it.
That was uncalled for.
I know. It turned into such an internet meme though now of Shaq covered in water.
It was his face though. That was fucking picture.
Yeah. People now just keep on using that picture of him like covered in water. It's great. We had a great little inner circle thing between all of them. They're not quite broken up yet.
I was expecting bit more from last week on that. It was
So
a
was I, yeah.
little bit disappointing to what he could have been.
A
The
bit
only thing
underwhelming.
I loved about it though was I'm about to call him Otis. Ortiz. That's what
Ortiz, yeah.
I was about to call him Otis. He was fucking great.
Yeah, they don't let them speak all that much, and yeah, he was really good.
Because I fucking love those two as a tag team, and they just
Yeah.
normally use him more as that comedy kind of thing.
Yeah,
But him doing that, and it's fucking great.
I love the little Jake Hager Wardlow thing that they've been doing for weeks as well. I thought that was great.
Why does he keep staring at me?
I'm not staring at you. You're staring at me. I love that. Wardlow was really good as well.
I just love the way both of them at the very end are still doing their best not to stare at one another.
Yeah, and they're like sticking their middle finger up. I love that. Yeah.
The thing is, what I think I would have loved actually to have seen from that end part there between Warlow and Squish Hager say, well, there's one way for us to settle it between you two, because this is more just to see who's the best big man on our team. Have a fight.
Yeah.
Have a match. That I would have fucking loved to have seen.
Yeah. Which I assume they're probably going to do at some point, right? They're going to.
He just had a moment to do it there, sort of thing. Sell it up for next week or something like that. So
yeah. We had probably one of the higher talking points on the show was Kenny Omega and Don Callis' thing. He came in a helicopter, which lots of people predicted that, because
I was kind of a bit pissed off because for some reason with their, why am I going from watching it on TV, not seeing it, them just arrive in it? Why am I jumping between them arriving in there to them going to the ring, watching it on the TV?
Yeah.
Why am I just doing what they did with Charlotte at WrestleMania, and we just watch her come in, land, and then come out and walk, and then go to the ring?
Yeah,
that for me was just shit.
Well, I'll give you the exact reason why that was, and it's because it was literally a mimic of Lex Luger's entrance into WCW. It was exactly the same, because on Impact,
well,
Kenny on Impact, Kenny Omega said that he hinted at Lex Luger. He was talking about Lex Luger.
Yeah, I know. I saw that bit on Impact. So
yeah, so everyone was saying, "Oh, he's going to come in. He's going to come in the helicopter."
He did the bus.
Yeah. So it was he's coming in the helicopter then. Yeah, so it was literally just a mimic of the Lex Express and then the Luger's helicopter.
But I just would have preferred if they just kept on the camera outside on the helicopter landing and going back to the ring.
I didn't mind, but yeah,
it's just the kind of thing when it comes to WWE, you'll jump on a certain Kevin Dunn for jumping the camera for no fucking reason.
To be honest, I didn't even realize it. Whilst the thing
they did it several fucking times in that clip.
Yeah, see, I didn't even honestly, I didn't really realize it because
Tony,
the thing
Tony was in there waiting. You got Tony, he's like that. What's the fucking point?
The thing I moan about WWE is the quick camera cuts, the bang, 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 bang. 15.
Doing that.
There was no way it was that quick. Otherwise, I would have. Because
a quick thing. You had a bit, then it goes coming back, and then you went back, and then all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't like literally like WWE does, where it's like a second of footage each time. That's the thing.
There is no need when you got a person doing an entry coming from outside to jump into the ring to watch it from their TV screen.
Yeah.
When I'm on TV.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't even realize the things that annoy me are the quick cuts and the cuts to the crowd. And AEW does the cuts to the crowd way too much. That's what pisses me off. That's the only camera thing I ever had with AEW.
In the crowd.
Yeah, but do you know what the problem is with AEW? They pan to the damn crowd and they show you the people without their masks on, and you're like, you fucking idiots! Like
they're in their own little group.
Yeah, but still.
Although talking about actually the crowd, I'm now worried with NXT after War Games.
Why is that?
Well, when Leo Rush gets thrown in that bit, outside, and they knock, and the woman then knocks over the other one.
Yeah.
How easy is it to knock over these barriers where the fans are standing next to one another?
Yeah, by the sound, it is literally just a bit of plexiglass on like 2 feet. That's literally it, by the sounds of it.
Well, it's the lump of wood is like built on lumps of wood. You can see that. Yeah. That stuff's quite heavy.
Yeah, well, by the sounds of it, the pictures I saw of them doing it was literally just like little bits of hollow 2x4 with 2 feet screwed in.
Yeah, but when you build the frame for the hollow 2x4, I know this from experience from my companies I've worked for in the past. They've still got a weight to it, and when they fall over and land on people,
I think it's gimmicked. I think it's all gimmicked, like all of everything in WWE. I don't
Although
think
if I'm honest, her face when she realised she knocked that over was fucking hilarious.
we had the Dynamite Diamond Ring final as well, which MJF won again.
Yeah,
but
I didn't. It was a bit meh.
Yeah, it was, but it was fine. I didn't find a need of doing the Dynamite ring every year. I thought it was just a thing for MJF anyway. But there we are. But
the thing that actually threw me, and it weren't until I watched somebody on YouTube explain to me why Pac was replaced. Because he's back in England for the holidays.
Yeah, then he had to.
I was a bit confused with his new trio group, and they're trying to do a story at the moment that he's not there.
Yeah, because
I feel like they started that story a bit early.
They did. It was a stupid idea, mainly because they flew him out there. He had to isolate for 14 days. He shot 2 weeks worth of stuff and then flew back. And it was like, I don't even know why they didn't film backstage things with him whilst he was out there, just to put in the back of the show, but in the middle of the show. But there we are.
If you want to put him in a fucking story, at least just film the shit for it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't understand why they didn't film all the stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't understand why they didn't just film stuff, which they can just put in there. Like, Raw, even though Raw is live, what did they do this week? They edited in the Bray Wyatt thing. They clearly filmed that before and then put it in. So like, AEW can do that. It's not hard. I tell you what I did like. Miro at the end. Finally, Miro actually looking strong. Finally, for the first time since he debuted, he threw that man off of that damn stage like a child, and I was like, "Oh, okay, Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, but I always love that camera thing. What reason why they never show you when they land?
Yeah, just don't see where he's landing on nice soft padding. But yeah, I did that. And then SmackDown. SmackDown was a bit.
Tell you what, I loved from SmackDown, Carmella.
Carmella was very good. Yeah.
Because not only did I forget actually quite how good she is on the mic, and that's character with the mic skills is quite good.
Yeah.
So I was loving her intro bit. And then while she's been injured and stuff, she's definitely done some more work on her in-ring skills, and she looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
I would happily have Carmella win that women's championship over Sasha of TLC.
Yeah. No, she did look really good. I'll say this. I was underwhelmed at her return. I thought like I didn't really care. But you're completely right. She's changed
this week she won me over. Still not quite into the whole high price escort gear, but
that's so Vince McMahon though, isn't it? It's literally Vince loves that shit. And like, but I'll say this: Eva Marie has been signed again by WWE, and I don't know why the fuck they would do it. So I do wonder if they're going to go that route with her again, because that was basically her character before, weren't it? So
if she. Because she's in a lot better shape than she was when she was in WWE, and I can see why they're bringing her in now. When she's done all this TV stuff, she's got a whole different fan base.
Yeah. She's got a higher profile, but yeah, she's been down in the Performance Center training apparently. So they're gearing her up for a return. But yeah, no, I agree. I said to you before the show, I really vehemently dislike the overuse of contract signing segments. This was a bit of a twist.
I like that I did.
Yeah, this was a twist on it. So I wasn't mad at this one.
That ended in a proper beatdown.
Exactly, because that's
just overexcited.
That's the thing, right? Is that normally these contract signings they always end in the same way, and you're like, oh, for God's sake. But yeah, no, I did like this. My highlight of the show was Kevin Owens and Roman, without a doubt, and Roman when he was beating.
Kevin Owens getting his shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, Roman beating the crap out of him and then talking trash to the camera was just brilliant.
I liked how Paul stopped him.
Yes.
When we already had the title over to him. But then, yeah, as I say, I did love the bit once he finished his beatdown, him then talking into the camera.
Yeah, talking trash into the camera. Yeah, I thought that was really, really well done. And I tweeted something out, right, which I stand by, and I know you will agree with me here. Chad Gable is so good, and they've now given him the Kurt Angle look, and yet they just would never give Kurt Angle to him. And you think, why the hell did they never do it when they had Kurt?
That's not even the thing. They won't even let him still win.
No. God, it's just so frustrating. I tweeted out like, I don't understand how they fucked him up so much. He should have been Kurt Angle 2.0. I literally don't understand how they fucked it so badly. It makes no sense to me.
I don't understand how he's not Universal Champion right now, walking over Roman Reigns.
The dude is crazy talented. And look, all I keep on seeing is people talking about, oh, he's too small. Kurt Angle isn't the biggest dude. No. Kurt was never there. When he was stood there with The Rock and Taker and all that, he wasn't out of place. He was just a better wrestler than ever. It's just so weird to me that they haven't done the same thing.
He could fucking wrap Roman Reigns up into a fucking knot.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I'm not taking anything away from Roman Reigns. I love the guy.
No, exactly. But you're right, exactly. And it's like, and if you tell that damn story that, hey, he's just a really.
Let's be honest. How many times did Kurt Angle go up against the Big Show in the Reckless era? Ruthless.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about that. It's like
let's be honest, for about good solid 6-7 months, there was only 3 people in the main title picture for SmackDown. That was Brock, Kurt, and Big Show.
Well, and it's funny you say that. Is like Kurt Angle was on Steve Austin's thing on the network, and in that he talks about the day when Brock Lesnar backstage challenged him to a shoot wrestling match, and Kurt just walked over him, because. He said, look, he was like, look, Brock is an NCAA wrestling champion. He's a great champion. He said, at the end of the day, I'm an Olympic gold medalist. He said, I am still just better than him, even if he's the strongest guy I've ever met. I'm just better. And you think, yeah, exactly. Like the dude could fuck anyone up, regardless of if you're Brock Lesnar. So yeah,
I broke your freaking neck.
Exactly. So like, just tell the same story with Gable and Kurt.
You got to break his neck.
You got to break his neck a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Make him better, yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're doing this for you.
Look what I did for Kurt Angle's career.
Yeah,
when you play it like that, then.
We know, and you're talking about old men winning titles, and you said about like Sting and Darby Allin stuff. Talking about old men, Goldberg and Roman Reigns is definitely set. It is definitely set. It is.
How Goldberg pissed everyone off when he was like, "I'm not doing it this year."
So it is planned. It is currently the plan for him and Roman at WrestleMania next year. That is the current.
I have heard a roughing one where Goldberg could be one for Roman, and then there's still the chances you got Randy and Edge at this WrestleMania again.
Yeah. So the current plan, according to the Observer, PW Insider, and Fightful, they've all heard the same thing, is that.
But I actually saw some of these matches that were all brought up. Yeah, apparently someone then spoke to WWE executives and they laughed up and said, "No, this is a thing right now."
Yeah, but they do. But they do that every year, like when Edge was supposed to be in the Rumble, they asked WWE and WWE goes, no,
But then there's also rumors that Edge could win the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, well, it seems like the 3 matches that are rumored are Edge and Randy, which I could probably see being the case, and then one of them is dependent on Brock and dependent on fans because
it also depends on whether Keith Lee's going to be there as well.
Yeah, so Brock versus Keith Lee versus Drew. Obviously, Keith Lee is still on the main roster. He's not leaving the main roster, but they're just trading him up by all accounts. But they don't seem to want to use Brock in the fanless era. They just want to sort of save that.
I thought by then they were planning on having fans.
Well, that is the idea, and they are now in the new stadium. They're not in an arena anymore. They are in a stadium now, which means that they can bring fans in because it is open air.
Where is the stadium? Don't tell me it's in Florida.
It's in Florida. It is. Have they
not learned from AEW who wants to move from?
Well, this stadium benefits from having a closed top roof. So even though it's technically open, it's a stadium, which means that it's in keeping with their guidelines over there that they can keep. They can have more people in there. They can't have them in arenas. So. Yeah, it seems like they probably will, but I think the Rumble, by the sounds of it, the Rumble is the time in which they're gonna test the fans because they want fans for the Rumble. But
so TV fucking shows before you try on a pay-per-view.
Well, I think they are. I think I worded that badly. I think that they want it for the Rumble, so they're going to be bringing it in like a week or 2 before, just to try it, see if it works, and then move in.
If they're not allowed it in arenas, NXT's got people in theirs.
Yeah, but you're only allowed like it's like 100 people. That's the maximum you're allowed. So in an arena, WWE for Rumble would obviously want like more than 100 people. So like they in the stadiums they'll be allowed a few thousand. Be like the same sort of thing as in the UK where the small arenas you can only be at 50% capacity or whatever. But yeah,
I still think it's stupid better in the UK where we're having fucking fans at a football game if they're like a tier 1.
Yeah. But there we are. I mean, Goldberg versus Roman isn't something which I give a flying shit about, to be honest. But they've got him for 2 matches a year. That's what they've signed Goldberg for now. 2 matches a year.
I can't get a Saudi to use them right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because really, that's what he was signed for, right? He was signed for WrestleMania and Saudi. Like, that was it. And then Saudi, I don't know when now they're going to be going back to Saudi, but...
Which means we've got fucking Saudi for like another 10 years.
It was a 10-year deal. So, yeah, literally 10 more years. But yeah, there we are. So
in the end, they had an extra. It was longer than a 10-year deal because they added another 1 or 2 shows over there. Originally, they did the first 2 shows, did the third one, and signed another two or 3 more shows.
Yeah, I think it's like last or the last Saudi show this year in February. I think that was the start of like their 10 years, their new agreement to do 2 shows a year, even though they're obviously not.
They had their talent kidnapped on an airport, held hostage.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
Just as Vince McMahon's plane takes off.
Yeah, sorry guys. Anyway,
he's gone. Hold him hostage.
But that is it. But that is it for this week in wrestling. Next week, I think we'll be looking back at the year as well. I think we've got to do that. We've got to look at next week, but then we've got to look back at the year. Have a chat about.
Yeah, but we've got to be very careful doing a year's review because there's also a lot of bad news for the year's review as well.
There is an awful lot of bad news. We'll cover
the landscape of that.
Yeah, we'll cover everything and do a whole look back.
Just fucking everything up for everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll cover it all. But until then, please head over and follow us on Twitter at @SEW_podcast. Like and subscribe to us here on this channel, and we'll see you next week for another video. We are out.